Hello, I'm Stephanie Kraft. Welcome to my channel. I'll introduce myself a little bit, which I haven't really done in the other videos about twin flames. I am a healer, an intuitive healer, a medical intuitive, a channel, and I have all of the clairs, the clairsentience, the claircognizance, clairaudience, and clairvoyance. So the healing work that I do, I'm receiving information at many levels. And so this video is in response to some viewers' questions about twin souls and twin flames, why the separation and why the delay for reunion. And so what I did was I tuned into the collective consciousness of those twin souls on the planet, and I received from higher, even higher than that, divine wisdom and inspiration that came to me in a very quick download of information about twins and what's going on here. So, okay, so twin souls, twin flames, when they are born, they're born into families which hold patterns of dysfunction and abuse, addictions, personality disorders, mental illness, and possibly even physical conditions. And so the twins choose these families to incarnate into so that they can carry these patterns. Because what twins are doing is by carrying all of these patterns through them, through their bodies, through their energy bodies, through their soul imprinting, they are able to transmute and clear all of these things from their ancestry, their bloodline, their soul groups, and ultimately from humanity at large. So twin flames, twin souls are here on the planet as partially as a cleanup crew for humanity, and not only all the things I mentioned, but also consciousness, human consciousness. It's like an upgrade that we are able to bring in because of our our attainment. And I'm not putting us on a hierarchy. It's just a mission that we have chosen to participate in and be a volunteer for. So what happens when twins meet is an ignition, a lighting of this recognition, and what happens is they're basically like cut open so that all of that stuff comes to the surface. All of the dysfunctions, all of the addictions, the abuse, the personality disorders, the mental illness that they have picked up on from their family of origin and held inside of them to clear. And it's not that the individual themselves is dysfunctional and all. I mean, they are, because they're in holding these patterns, but it's in order to do clearing and healing out of service. So we can't really blame our twin for acting certain ways. We have to come with compassion and understanding. So when we understand the process, it's so much easier to go through this journey, which is incredibly intense and hard, challenging. But to understand, when the two of you meet, there's a cutting open of each other so that all of these things can come out, and they do. And so because the connection between the two people is so intense, and all of this is coming to the surface, they need to separate. It's very rare for twins to come together and all this stuff to come up and out and for them to work through it together. There are sets of twins that I know who maybe they don't carry this type of a mission. There are a lot of different types of missions on the planet for twins, okay? We all signed up for different things, but there's a huge group of us who have the mission that I'm talking about. So those are the people I'm talking to. Not the ones who came together and it was very easy and it was very loving and compatible. There are twins like that, but even with those twins, there are a lot of circumstances. Sometimes they're both married. The the circumstances between twins is never really easy, but it's different. So there's a huge group of us who I'm talking about right now, and you cannot work through these things together. It's too much work. It's too much intensity, and basically the twins have to separate and go to their own corners and heal. So everything's been brought up, and now it's time to look at it and work with it, and that is a process. There's so much that comes up, and then even when that stuff is healed and they come back together again, more stuff is brought up. So this is not a one-time thing. This is a cycling pattern. We've heard it all before, but I have more information that I got when I tuned in. So I'm going to explain that as well, other reasons that they're not coming together. So obviously there are other reasons that are keeping the twins separate. A lot of times we meet our twin and they're married or they're in a relationship. There are children involved. There's location, geography. There's a lot of things involved with meeting the twin and then time it takes to come together. So of primary significance is the healing of the patterns and the dysfunctions that I talked about. And so there's a purification of the soul that's going on, the energy bodies. There's a healing of the body itself. There's a lot of energetic work happening. There's Kundalini rising for twins. And this can be a sudden thing, or it can be gradual, step by step. Energy rising, and what's happening when the Kundalini energy is rising through the body, through the different chakras, more stuff is coming up and out. I just had a major Kundalini events recently, and I'm still getting over illness that it brought up for clearing. So excuse me for clearing my throat so much, but it's a necessary process that we go through to clear and heal the energy bodies and the chakras and everything that's been brought up. And the process is long. The process can take a lot of time. Years. It can take years, most of the time. So there's a refinement of the emotional body. So if you can imagine a rock, and over time, so the rock is jagged and it's rough, and then imagine a polished stone, completely smooth, shiny. How did it get that way? A lot of rubbing, a lot of sanding. And so that is exactly what we're going through. We're going through a purification process and really an emotional body refinement. And this is so important because when the twins come together, they really, in order for them to be harmonious and in union, they cannot be triggering each other. Yes, they're going to be triggering each other, but not as much as before. And they'll be able to work through things together after this massive clearing project that happens after they meet. So I know other twins who don't have this type of mission, who literally have very specific missions to help each other and support each other and teach together and work together, or other things. But they have less of this job than we do. So some of us are healers, and we're healing for humanity through this process. So let me just make sure I mentioned everything here. Okay. So in the vision that I got about why is there such a delay, it was all of this stuff that I just mentioned, but also what's happening through this process, through this clearing out process, is that the higher self wants to embody in the person, and it can't. It's like, and I got this vision of the higher selves are like hanging out above, the people, the twins, and when more and more of this stuff, the layers of the healing and the dysfunctions and all the patterns that they're clearing for their bloodlines and for their soul groups and for humanity are cleared out, then more of the higher self can actually filter into the body, integrate, and be there. So that is a huge process of twins, the work that we're doing, and why there isn't reunion, because they have to stay separated during all of the healing, the majority of the healing, and they are embodying their higher selves little by little, more and more over time as the clearing process happens. And so that when they come together, being fully embodied, meaning the higher self has integrated within the person so much more, than they're going to be very stable people, individuals, partners who can stand alone separately and not be codependent or triggering each other so much where they have to continue the separation cycles. So once the more and more of the higher self embodies in the person, then they will be able to come together and be together, stay together in harmony and co-creation, because we are here for a mission. And the mission, in addition to healing humanity in ways that I just talked about, is really about embodying divine love and being that love, radiating that love, and being examples of harmonious relationships. We're actually completely breaking down the patterns, the paradigms of relationships that as we've known them on Earth. The new relationships that we're bringing in, it's at the forefront right now. It's very new, but those relationships between twins have to do with complete freedom, total freedom, independence, unconditional love, and a very high consciousness of love, meaning the most divine high love that we've known. Christ came in with that type of love to teach us to be that love. And actually the twins are here to do the same thing in many, not just the one, as Christ did. And I did a channeling the other day on the twins mission and all of this. So I will try to figure out a way to present that channeled information. It was actually messages from God. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be making an ebook with these messages, because I tried very hard to get them up on a video yesterday and it wasn't working. So I'm going to have to ponder this one. But they're very powerful, the connection that I made and the answers that I received. And part of it was about us being the Christ on the earth, in the many, returned in the many, not just the one. So the mission of the twins is immense and huge. And I think that should answer the question about why there's the delay in reunion and the separation. There's no way around it. You have to go through it. There's nothing you can do to speed it up except do your work, your inner work, your healing. And, a lot of the times one of the twins really is healed and ready to go. But they have to wait for the other one to be ready, and that takes a lot of patience. And so finding all of the virtues that you can imagine, being Christ-like. So that's your work. And there's nothing else I can say to make it easier for you, but have faith and trust. And I think that's it for today. I'm going to make more videos, lots more to say on this topic, and you can find me at my website, stephaniecraft.com. Thank you so much for the messages I've been getting. I'm getting incredible feedback. Thank you. I'm having a lot of requests for sessions. The sessions are profound. people from all over the world. It's a beautiful thing. And so I will see you soon.